best IGL that EMEA has ever seen. With Jumpy now against Jumpy, that has been absolutely brilliant.
I think what I'm most excited about is this Sentinel head-to-head that we kind of touched on already. Seeing Kron on that Vito, seeing Alpha on the Vise, of course, previous teammates. So yeah, I'm really excited to see these two go up against each other. I think, yeah, there's not really been any changes, but as you said, Kukuka, like, we didn't really expect that coming into this. What I will say is, I don't think Vitality are going to get away with the abusing mid as much as they did against Giant X.
And I think to that also, into the double duelist, we need to look at the latest incorporation for Fnatic. We need to look at Vekash and how he's going to be playing with that knife and the information and how Fnatic is going to work around it. But I completely agree with you. To me, this has to be a Chronicle versus Alpha. It's not only because of the roles, but also because I feel like the responsibility that they put on their shoulders. I feel that Chron in this regard is a little bit more chill, but I feel like Alpha is going to be hungry for today.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well, just to pick up on your Vekash point, his KO has been absolutely insane. I remember we saw it that first game against Foot, and I was like, oh my goodness, put this guy on KO every map. And then he's shown so much flexibility since then with the Viper and such. So yeah, I think that going into this, like you say, it's going to be interesting.
It's also nice that we've seen both of these teams already play the compositions on their map, so to an extent we are going to be looking out for some anti-stratting from both of them, which is always exciting to see when we're looking at the likes of Vitality Fnatic, because, you know, that's what they're known for.
Yeah, but it's been so long since we saw Fnatic play this map. I think it was like way back in week 2, so it's been like a couple of weeks since then. I'm expecting them to come in with some fresh things today.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see that, but in regards to expectations of how this map is going to go, do we want to throw out a prediction? Like, I know I don't usually ask, but I feel like this is so important right now.
It is so difficult. Can I say OT? We've had so many OTs.
Yeah, go crazy.
We've had so many OTs, and then yesterday, between map 1 and 2, I was like, oh, I'm going to take a shower. And when I came out, I figured it was almost closing, and I was like, man, I have time for nothing.
All right, no predictions actually here from the analyst desk, but maybe our casters can enlighten us in regards to who they think are the favorites in this matchup, as Vitality and Fnatic is starting with our casters, Mitch on top.
Now, Vitality have never managed to best Fnatic, Tom, but now they've stolen a few pieces of the puzzle from the other side. Maybe they can finally get it done.
The saying is, if you can't beat them, join them, not take them. Like, you've reversed the saying to try and get yourself that victory. Yes, it's been a one-sided affair with old rosters. Durka even had to try and beat his old team alone, but he's taken a friend, even taken an assistant coach with him. And that is the story of this matchup, a grudge match for multiple reasons. The storied best team ever in EMEA, the one that won back-to-back trophies, has been split in half and now face each other on the stage to figure out who was right, who was the best. Is Boaster the greatest leader that pieces may not matter, or is losing Chronicle enough to change the tide?
It could well be a bridge too far. A player that has had his place at the top rung of the Valorant scene since very much the word get-go. Vitality, they look to carry Chronicle, carry Durka to victory against their former squad. The first victory for Vitality in this matchup, if they find it. And this BO3, honestly, coming in, I think this is their best shot. It's the strongest Vitality have looked coming into one of these matchups. To start, though, it's a bloodbath all in favor of Alpha.
Yeah, he has really been stepping up over the last couple of weeks. We talked about Vekash and his need to almost try and not even just fill the gap, but be a part of this new squad. But the man who has really been stepping up, really been taking over these games, has been Alpha, yeah. And what a start, expecting the aggression. And with both of these teams previously playing the map, there is going to be almost a game of chess of who can pull off those aggressive swings, who can take that space. What I will say, though, is although it's a very big advantage early, the remaining two players are in the right place.
Gonna fall back here.
Still, I mean, this would be a sight hold to remember. They already know that one is here. Durka steps forward, gets out, Prophet with one, but so much more needs to be done. Those spams are doing damage.
They can go back.
Fnatic make it out. 30 seconds on the clock, and they can take this where they want. Still have Crashies close by to hear the steps as they rotate away. I'm not sure, though. They might have made it out of range. This rotate from Vitality gets them to the A site. Just ahead of Fnatic. Boaster could be in trouble.
Yeah, there's no going back now. They like to run it late, but it'll be a little bit too late if anybody was able to disrupt.
10 seconds
The fact is,
left.
though, they were just a little bit too slow. Boaster in position. It's a bit whiffy, but he gets the job done in the end. It is Fnatic to claim the pistol round with a patient decent start. And I'll be honest with you, I'm expecting more of the same.
Yeah, very much so. When it comes to that attack side, we know Fnatic like to take it nice and slow. And when off the bat, you've got your opponents pushing like that, well, you've already got that reward. Why not keep up that old style? That was a nice attempt, but in the end, no one really doubted Boaster, did they? An easy cleanup. It's round one. First round one. But that's the thing. You know on that other side. You know if you're Durka. You know if you're Chronicle. This guy's going to be feeding a lot of energy out of this game. He's going to be finding himself on his feet every time the round goes his way. And you just got to sit on the other side of the stage and witness it.
So obviously Ginny likes to ask for predictions. I'm not going to give her the prediction she won. I'm in fact going to ask you, does Chronicle bark? That's the prediction I need from you, Mitch.
I see.
Do you think he will bark today?
You know what? I actually think Chronicle on his own, no, I can't see it. It's hard for me to imagine. But then I think about the power of Yumpy. He's an infectious leader. I think we might get at least. Yes, that he is. I think he might get one out of him today.
Okay.
If there's a big moment. I mean, you're against your former team. This has to be it.
Well, the end zone flawless is enough to get a very clean start off from Fnatic. Vitality is the only original partnership team remaining, which is crazy when you think about it. The players that they have had over the years. Nonetheless, this is where the buy comes through. This is where we see everything in place.
They smoked me.
Okay, I'm gonna play.
I'm gonna zone.
I can play with Chron.
Have
it smoke,
smoke.
Yeah,
No, mine's cheating. Going back to A.
coming A.
I'm gonna leave it frontside soon.
I TP it away. I'm backside.
Watching topside corner. I can't break it.
Nice.
I pick off you.
I'm coming CT also, guys.
Are they out?
Yes.
Wow. We had a little check-in with the Vitality. Voice comes as we move into this defensive side play towards the A site that's now being cancelled. Fnatic send this back in the other direction towards B, which is wide open from what we can see, but they're taking the time. The brakes have been pumped, 50 seconds on the clock, and really now it's Vitality left guessing. They don't know where this hit's coming in anymore.
Yeah, a little bit of probing from Prophet, looking to try and find where this push is coming in. We know Fnatic, we know they like to leave it to the very last second, but with the spike on that side of the map, and now a spot onto Boaster, they could still run it back in the other direction. In fact, there is an opening. Only Yumpy still on that side of the map. In fact, everybody has been pulled over, but now the realization is there. Althea takes control, but almost caught. Lucky to still have his head. They will, however, get into the post plant with a matter of seconds on the clock.
Yeah, the time's going to bleed really low, but Vitality have nothing to cancel, nothing to get out there and cause problems, and don't want to just throw themselves at this. The man advantage there for the defense, but Fnatic know that. They're playing aggressive, playing up close, looking to punish them as they come through the choke point, and already the numbers to even, but Crashy's forced into the fight. He wins most, and Vikash is there to pick up the final pieces. A 3-0 start for Fnatic, and if this is Vitality's chance to change history, it's certainly not off to a good start. This was the map we expect them to look dominant on.
But this is always the thing when talking about Fnatic, when talking about them in comparison to other teams, is no matter who is on the roster, you go back all the way to the beginning. You go back to 2020 and the pieces that were on the squad with Boaster, and it didn't matter. This man was still able to pull off victories with his calls alone, and this round is sublime. Like, he gets them into that site with no one on it, with seconds left to spare. And you can expect to see more and more of that, and Vitality's job is almost to try and figure out what they're doing. But it may mean that eventually they stop gambling players over, and then you have weaker sites.
And see, Vitality want to get aggressive through that smoke, and when they do,
not fast
it
enough.
was supposed to be just for information. Quick shot by Kayak, and again, you don't really get much from that. The fact that Fnatic are playing slow default against an eco, yeah, you'd kind of expect that. Now you're a player down, and the question is, do Vitality have another bit of aggression up their sleeve, or will this be a bit of a gamble play, hoping to catch the hit as it comes in? Problem is, they're going off the information that's being given to them. The drone towards B has dragged the rotates. Meanwhile, Fnatic will walk into a wide open A site, and what should have been an easy pickup now, quite a problem brewing. Okay, Durka's got himself one, back to a 4v4, and the retake now has a rifle.
I think it's about to be lost.
Well, it had a rifle.
Who's expecting Crashies to still be in spawn? This was Boaster's spot in the past. This was his position that he used to just hold, and Crashy likes a little bit of a 4K to close the round. 4 standing as well for Fnatic. The credits flying at this point, and well, I do wonder how long it will take for a Vitality pause.
Not much longer. A lot of people would even want it coming into this buy round, but if this one doesn't go their way, it has to be just around the corner. This is the map that... This is the map that Vitality chose that they looked so good on it. If I'm not mistaken, and indeed I can see it, it was the attack side last time that brought them so many rounds, 12 in a row.
Same for Fnatic versus Foot, 10-2, so both should be better on the attack.
Indeed, exactly. But, well, we don't want to see a lights-out performance from either, to be honest, in this series. This is one that I come into today expecting to go to 3 maps. I expect it to be a brawl, but so far, it is a slaughter in favor of Fnatic, and it ain't changing. Nice pick by Crashies, but really a great flash from Vikash.
Yeah, it feels like Chronicle was not ready for that one. We've spoken a lot about the veto and how individually he was able to really pop off last time that they played, but so far, 0-5. Up against his old team. We know that even though, of course, there's a battle to make it into the middle final, there will also be blood in the game for the ex-players and the players whose teammates have left. But for Chronicle, this is almost the nightmare start. Durka, he's going to try and turn the tide already under serious pressure. The swing a little bit behind because of the slow. He's done fantastically well in this moment. And Durka coming alive is enough to grab Vitality their first round.
You got a nail on the head there. That slow, that hinder that was thrown through was absolutely perfect. Nobody could move in. At that point, you know, I like the dash. I like the idea from Kayak to try to get behind him so he's not caught and just stunned up in the open. There's the flash. Beautiful to start this round out. Yeah, despite that, it was Durka holding the line that's given them this chance. 4-1. We talked about potentially needing a pause if the round didn't go their way.
I don't hear you, hello!
But as you can see, there's no need to touch base with the coaching staff.
I feel like I almost need to just shut up in between rounds. Like, there's nothing I can say that's more entertaining than going between Boaster and Yumpy. It's going to be a battle for the ages, and hopefully that's shown in the scoreboard as well. Of course, for Fnatic, no harm done in terms of finances just yet. Bladestorm online for Kayak, and after what was a lot of very aggressive starts to the early rounds from Vitality, they have sort of stemmed that a little bit. I think being caught off by the slow pace of how Fnatic like to play, they have also fallen back and gone, okay, you can walk around for a bit. We'll be waiting on the site.
And waiting they will be. And the gate crush has been sent towards the A site, but you can still see Yumpy is close by. Durka, he's going in for the info, and that is a lot seen. They now know all the eggs can go in this basket. 45 seconds, still a chance for Fnatic to go back, and in fact, a lot of ulti's going to be committed to this immediately. Hunter's Fury from Crashies to try to counter back when Durka had put the slow through, but Durka's still standing on the side, has to be dealt with. It's Kayak to drop him. Now, foothold is gained by Fnatic, but yeah, Yumpy doesn't want to overstay his welcome. Equalizes the numbers, and takes that gate crash. The retake now the goal.
A lot of ults very close to being online. A singular kill for Vekash or Alpha. That's either abilities or weapons completely gone. On the other side of things, a dimensional drift, a Hunter's Fury that could just turn the tide. This first pick really feels like it might just be the deciding factor of the round, and it's, again, very, very passive from the side of Fnatic. They are happy to work off these post plants, work off the time utility, looking to be denied defusal. Wow, it's just going to be easy in the end. Never mind. Chronicle, he's woken up. First couple of kills onto the board, and Vitality, they've got 2 rounds.
You know, going into that 3v3, I'm thinking, oh, there's no Hunter's Fury online anymore. It was used to entry, but to good effect, and it will be helpful, but they have so much time to play with here, and they're playing perfectly. So far back, so passive, not offering duels before that spike is touched. And yet, when push comes to shove, it is a staggering success for Vitality, for Chronicle.
blind! Come on!
And of course, Yumpy on his feet, giving it right back. Fnatic's lead closed down to a 2-round gap, and their economy on its last legs.
Again, still a couple of ults to play with, but everything has been building up in the meantime for Vitality. Other than that convergence path, everything sits online. Yumpy will be able to deny the knife, and with his gate crash now expended, he is going to have to send another one. Just to have that early escape. Of course, still has his ult, so in reality, he could even stick around a little longer if he wanted to. Instead, though, Fnatic again, just pushing, probing, spotting if anybody's got aggressive. But as said, Vitality have been quite happy to fall back, and with now Chronicle deep within the site, he's almost just sitting waiting for any form of execution where he can deny their utility, and if needed, even evolve, which he has.
Yeah, change up. Could catch him off. Kron. We saw him go aggressive towards A main and find nothing. This smoke up's definitely going to make you think that that's what you're facing on the other side. The chance for Fnatic to just flash through as their own blooms. In fact, it's going to be the drone. No flash. Wide swing coming in. Vakaz just playing a risky game. Not punished just yet. The wall goes up, saving them from those first shots. And here's the flash, but Kron, of course, not blinded. Gets himself a double, but the rest are still standing. Fnatic have made this into a 3v2, and they've got post plan.
Yeah, they don't have main control, though. The quick rotation from Yumpy was available because of that Cosmic Divide. They are watching, or at least one was, and Crashy's almost used his teammate as bait. Now it's left to Profek, and he is not ready for Alpha yet. They came up against a lot in that round. Cosmic Divide, Evolution, and a Dimensional Drift, and it did not matter.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you go into that push with Chronicle standing his ground, finding that space around the back of the site. I mean, he almost got one there, but yeah, indeed, the entire plan to flash through falls apart. You'd think when he stood there, but that trade from Crashies, he immediately follows up on and is then there to clean up main afterwards. What a round from him. This one should not have gone to Fnatic, and I think Vitality know that. They'd call a pause.
Yeah, I think they had a couple of rounds back that sort of delayed this a little bit, but the way the early game started, we were kind of talking about how, oh, is that pause going to be coming a little bit sooner? Now, though, is the moment that they will take a moment to just try and bring themselves back into the map, because you sort of mentioned it already, the attack side is where we do have those expectations. Of course, we can even talk about another one of those sort of changes we saw within the Fnatic roster last year, and it was obviously Scott, a man that I feel like you're very close with. You are kind of close with any Irish person. I feel like that's just your
Shout
thing.
out
But
Enzo.
like, he was previously on BBL underneath, I believe, as maybe the assistant or the analyst, then went to Fnatic as assistant coach, and now has been stolen back by Power 4 Vitality, another piece of that Fnatic puzzle that has gone the other way. Although, as said, like from the growth we've seen from Fnatic, someone like Desmo coming in, I think has been a brilliant replacement, or as good as you could get, I'll be honest.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's hard to find someone with as much experience as Desmo as well to fill in, so they did very well there. For Vitality, 2 rounds on the board. The last one, a bit of an upset. A big play by Crashies, not his first in this series, and it probably won't be his last. Although if Vitality have something to say about it, it certainly will. Oh, the spams, well, they're actually going the way of Chronicle there to start, but they don't get too dangerous.
Snare destroyed.
With a minute 20 on the clock, the slow play from Fnatic not being met with any aggression on the other side. The Vitality very, very patient at the moment, despite the last round.
Yeah, it has been very interesting, though. I feel like the rounds where we've seen both teams sort of expend a large amount of ultimates have actually been the rounds that they've lost. We've seen those big individual plays turn on their head. And once again, it seems to be Vitality trying to figure out any information. The drone going through onto middle, but in the meantime, the attack side are already putting pressure into B and taking middle control at the same time. This is going under the noses of opponents, but they slow it back down. Almost sell this like before, okay, last time we did this, this was a ruse, it was a fake, now it's the real thing.
Hunter's Fury sent in, Unfake not gonna find his mark, and Profek's gone down. This has become uncomfortable, but then Unfake lands. Connect down, that there's no need to jump the gun here for Durka. You can play that bit more passive, especially with Util guarding him, but wait for the rotations to come through. Again, I think this patience for Vitality has been there. You never see these guys looking for those individual fights, waiting for the teammate to back them up. The Cosmic Divide, oh, I like that. Divide is up and immediately there's shock darts, there's nades going through, assuming they'll at least get the jump on the players on the other side. But when the dive comes in, oh, Vakaj cleans them up! Fnatic push up to 6 and guess who's on his feet again?
No, he's got Vakaj with him now. He's getting him on his feet, and I like that. The protocol is just looking fantastic from Fnatic, like having that immediate setup of anti-flash, knowing that there's going to be utility coming through from the other side and just ready to pop straight out while his teammates sort of take the bait from deeper angles.
What a flash. My goodness.
Nice! 6-2. Another stellar attack side building for Fnatic, and well, if you were looking for answers from Vitality, this is probably not the round.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. I think for Fnatic so far as well, with how they've been playing, I think, well, you heard it there in the comms as well. We've already talked about Vakaj's flash. I think it was Alpha's Rose that ended up catching them as they pushed out to site. And really, for this squad right now, it feels like everything's slotting into place. Although, as we said, this is the attack side. It's where we saw Vitality put up 12 rounds in a row. We saw Fnatic put up 10. We know that this is where both teams should thrive. And so for Vitality, you start to ask, how many rounds is enough? I mean, in the moment, it's looking clean, but they have only got the pistols. Let's not forget.
Yeah, again, though, from the attack side.
Right here.
I was going to say it depends how many you lose, but now things get a little bit more interesting. Potential for some weaponry.
Gun here.
Prophet has at least been able to claim one, but the problem is the other side of the map has been completely taken. A plant already down, and from the Vitality side, it's like, okay, a full retake from this position, odds are very low, but holding on to a singular rifle when you can already buy next round, yeah, it almost seems like you might as well go for this.
And Outlaw recovered as well. The chances for damage certainly quite high. We are getting towards the end of the half as well, so difficult for that to have impact. How many can they get is the question. Boaster, well, he spotted both, and he's taking a shot for it. Vakaj is going to be stepping towards them as well. It gets to the point, honestly, as we
one enemy remaining.
Hit the kind of final few rounds that even just taking those orbs, like for Unfake, he's 2 away. He's guaranteed by the end of the half that you'll have that Hunter's Fury back online. And that was one of the pieces that gave them a pick in one of the earlier pushes.
Yeah, the problem is, most of the time, any orb you take is an orb gained by the opposition as well. So it's kind of like, I think Vakaj is now a couple away from
2 away
having the null command. So it's all building back up. And thus far, I don't feel like the ults have actually been a massive turning point in this game. I feel like we had a couple of
utility.
Yeah, there's been a couple of like individual plays that came out from the Vitality side, the big play from Durka. But other than that, this really has been the Fnatic show, which, considering this is the map choice of Vitality, is a little bit damning.
There we go, that utility sent through. We said how good it's been for Fnatic. Well, it's already been taken out of play. Chronicle immediately negates it, but it didn't look like they were looking to push on the back of it. I think that was a sacrifice. Let's get rid of that utility early, and now he's got to face our util.
Yeah, we don't want to lose our drone. The drone's, if anything, the most valuable piece, so don't want to send that first. You still also don't want to go walking into the crosshair of Chronicle. Kayak gone. Site is going to be taken, though, and you mentioned it before. Crashies last time used that ult for the entry, and now they've evened things up. So in the post plant, that Hunter's Fury is going to be perfect.
Oh, they've lost Boaster, and a bit of post plant goes with that. Hunter's Fury sent through, though. That was why. It was an aggressive stance instead. No, they don't want to deny the defuse. They don't want you anywhere near that spike. But still, Vitality press on. Yumpy and Unfake still drawing breath, but Crashies around the back, waits for contact from Alpha. This is going to be a deadly double swing, and Crashies deals death to the first, and Shirley has bought enough time. That clock so low already. Alpha just needs to play with his food, avoid being the early pick, and there it is. Ooh. Nicely done. Even with a sliver of health, the clock will decide this fight. And Fnatic push to 8.
Extending that lead ever further. Really going to be testing the bounds of how good that Vitality attack side will be, but also, again, like we've seen this from Alpha here, just left alone on an island at times. He's the one to get the first kill for Fnatic. He's the one to get the last as well. Like just being in that backline, being an irritation and a consistent backstab all the way through.
Crawling, crawling. Bro, I was holding backside. Why are you not picking?
Oh, he's throwing out some criticism.
He's really feeling the pressure today, as you can see.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Very stressed.
Got to uphold their flawless record against Vitality, and yeah, people are guessing in the background. It could cause Boaster to lose a few hairs.
Yeah.
He's been quiet.
From watching Boaster do vetoes in the past, there is no point trying to ever mind game him. It is a waste of time.
This is again, same thing. Utility goes out, the cancel from Kron. It's going to run the clock down, but this time there's another layer to it. There's aggression coming through. Yampy, big risk player to his left, but he gets out. The drone sees him on the scene of the crime, but just as quickly, he's on the backside. And the numbers thinning out for Fnatic. Sure, one for Boaster, great, but that mid-control, it might open the avenue to rotate back. They need so much more, and it's being held on the cross. It's an op looking and locking down the angle Boaster was looking across.
That's the problem. You have so many backstabs, so eventually your opponents are going to start looking, especially when they have an advantage. And for Vekash here, he's been great so far. This is asking a little bit too much. Now, they do have credits. It's not the end of the world if he was to lose his rifle. But for Vitality, it's an important piece, an important marker that, okay, maybe we still do have the great attack side, but we at least needed a few rounds to make sure we don't just lose to a pistol.
Exactly, right? That little bit of extra wiggle room to play with. There it is, yeah, the flick over.
You're being warned.
And they might have spotted him, but the trade, impossible. It's just too quick getting out of there. And I love that as well. Like, we've seen this already. The willingness of Fnatic to go slow towards that site, bait your util, wait for it to go away, and then hit. So they say, okay, while they're waiting, I'm going to push in, take my pick, get out. Beautiful work from Yampy, well executed. And a 8-4 still possible for Vitality. With the attack side we know is likely to be coming up, that's just fine.
Well, very early knife thrown out, but it is just a bait. All 5 players, maybe for the first time in this entire map, all set up on one side of the map. And in fact, that's Yampy now with no utility portal, not available to save him. And he's just going to have to try and retreat and fails. That's the whole site under the control of Fnatic. We talk about those pace changes, those blips from those slow rounds we love to see, or some do. And this change has made it so difficult for a break back, but that's a big Hunter's Fury.
That's Alpha down. That is as well going to be when Vitality look to push into sight. That flash from Alpha has been so annoying, just holding it for the right moment. Now that's not an option, and they lose a bit of their ability to fight towards the back. That ult finds nobody. The stun, though, is good. Profek and Unfake fall on the way through. Durka does his best to pick up the pieces, but it's in tatters on the floor. 9-3 for Fnatic. A solid opening half in this series.
No, incredible stuff coming out from them. Crashies 16-6. And we are going to be off to a player feature with the man himself.
Your body knows. A sense of victory. Seized when mind, movement, and gear ignite as one. Now, step into your zone. Designed to win.
So the new iteration of Fnatic, I think people are actually sleeping on Vekash, our newest player. I don't think he's getting rated as highly as he should. So I kind of like that we're being kind of underrated right now. And I think it's always fun to go into a season having to prove like yourself and all that. Like it's a new year, not a new team, but like a new player. But I think just as every new year comes, you always have to kind of prove yourself again. So I'm just excited to prove the same old Fnatic. Yeah, I think what definitely something we joke about is scaling. So I definitely think we're gonna be like ramping up or scaling as we call it. I think teams that start hot kind of usually like drop off, but I think like historically with Fnatic and especially Boaster, he's really scaling up as the year goes and as the season goes. So I think we're just kind of used to that, and I think it'll probably be the same as this year. So. The Odin, yeah, we definitely got abused by it at Champs. I think Brock used it to probably the highest potential it's ever been used. It hasn't been nerfed yet, although I do think like Riot has been making good changes with like the walls and stuff to not make them as wall bangable and stuff. But I definitely think there should be either a price increase or something should be changed, because yeah, it's been I think it's been a strong gun ever since the game's been out. Like I was using it on Ascent back in the day, so yeah, it's just always been a strong gun, and I think it probably could use a nerf. So. So goals going into kickoff. Historically, we haven't been that good in kickoff, actually. I don't think we've ever, especially Fnatic, I don't think they've qualified for the first LAN, and I've never qualified for the first LAN of the year. They've never qualified for a kickoff event. I've never qualified for a kickoff event. So I think the simple answer is just qualifying for Chile, which is the first major LAN of the year. And I think that's everyone's goal right now.
Gotta say, I feel like he's spot on with the Vikaj statement as well, because I was definitely one of those people, not so sure about that one, but definitely one of the people who was sort of questioning his joining this roster. It's just, it's such a prestigious roster within EMEA, and you think that everybody that's joined has been like the next big thing as soon as they hit the scene. And that wasn't really the thing for Vikaj. He had a pretty rough year in VCT, but my God, he has looked so comfortable on this roster, and I think proved me wrong probably day one, if not day two.
Oh, you've seen it here. Vitality are the slowest team. So if you thought that last half was slow, lock in.
130.
It's looking pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, 130, and they've already made it all the way through mid, deep into the spawn, and it might be one of the quickest attack sides we see. Maybe just for the pistol, and to start, it's Fnatic with flying colors, finding themselves the advantage and the spike. Chronicle having to give up control fully. They have taken the site at least, but that's not going to be a comfortable fight going that deep into the spawn.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one of the worst places you could possibly drop the spike, so it's going to be very rough to get this back. Alpha even watching in case anybody tries to take a wider angle. Smoke's in position.
Star's back.
Can Unfake steal it? Can he steal it? Yes, he can. He's managed to get the spike.
Alpha's going to strike, though.
Goes forward into position. It's a little bit awkward. Actually, Alpha has come out, I'd say, worse for wear.
Chronicle does well, but yeah, back to a 2v3. Alpha very, very low, but so too is Prophet. This has to be a big performance from Unfake, and oh, he's caught down below. A waterfall washes him away, and Vitality, they stay on 3. Fnatic push to double digits.
Yeah, this is now where you really have to worry, because even if you believed in, like, okay, the attack side was impeccable versus GX, like they were pulling off crazy rounds that almost made things look easy, you're now far enough down that you're gambling on Fnatic not winning a round or two on their defense, which, I don't know, I'm not really in that camp at this stage. Of course, I think going into Bind, it's not like it's a done deal by any stretch, but I do think that if it does close out quickly, Vitality are going to have that chat backstage of, okay, we need to reset now. Otherwise, they will be down to that last life, and Fnatic will be the one in the middle bracket final.
Now seeking an 11th, then it shouldn't be too big of a challenge. The Vitality, they go together. The pack mentality, use their numbers to hopefully overwhelm this A site. Now
both duelists.
Two duelists.
Bit of a giveaway.
One can rotate, so you know, maybe it's a fake. You never know, especially on the pistol. For now, at least, yeah, Vitality are going to take it slow. They expected in a round like this. But if they go back towards that B site, Tom, that's going to be the worst one to push into dry.
Yeah. You've not only got to try and get past the wall initially, it's not great, but then also the thorns, which is also not great.
And the flash out wide as well. That's going to, if you try to take that left side, you're blind as can be. No chance.
Well, we'll see. You never know. Maybe they've got a really good set game plan of how to get past. Now, for two of the players, they can get past all the utility except the flash. Well, MP's now kind of trapped in a corner. They know he's here, maybe expecting him to fall back, but there is the flash.
Yep. Really nice stuff, using the Thorns to contain that space as well. Alpha full mastery over this battlefield, or so it seemed. Kayak good for one, and what should have been an easy round, still under threat as he falls. Fails to get out. Profek up close, SMG damage done, but it's not enough. Crashies closes the round for Fnatic, and 11 on the board. It's do or die time for Vitality, and Tom, this is their pick with Bind up next. Fnatic have got to feel like they're on cloud 9.
Oh, I hope not. We don't talk about them. 11-3. Yeah, they are truly running away with this. Crashy's also just playing out of his mind. Like, every time something's got a little bit dangerous, so you go, okay, that's shaky, that's worrying. Crashy just walks in like it's another day of the office. 18-7 right now. We talked about the boots that needed to be filled, but I'll be honest, It seems like the shoe already fit. Okay, see you later, Vekash. Nice start to the round. It was only a charge. This, however, that's a rifle on the ground. An early couple of picks. Looking like a done... Oh, timing a little bit off, but Kayak had to correct through a smoke.
Yeah, I mean, it's the round to take risks, right? Especially when you've already got players down. Really unlucky for Vekash to just be spammed straight through the box, but... You know, when it is a bonus round, they expect you to take those risks, expect you to take that deep control in A main. And when that smoke goes up, yeah, there's no chance they're not spamming it. 11-3, likely to turn to 4, but this is the round that Fnatic invest next to nothing in. I mean, you saw it. It was a bookie on Vekash when he was trying to get in that corner. When it comes to the next round, it should be a different story. But for now, this is the course correction we wanted to see from Vitality. We didn't want a close round. We didn't want too many players falling, and it has to look convincing, and at least for now it does.
Chance for a little bit of damage. Alpha is going to be the last second peak, but it is being watched for. And it doesn't matter too much for him. He gets to keep the rifle into the next. At least a response from Vitality, a must-win round. But this has to be the start of a streak. It has to be the start of a streak all the way to map victory, or with one single defeat that would take them to OT. It seems very, very unlikely.
Now we wait.
Now, they have done it once, but I'll be honest with you, my expectations of Fnatic are a little higher.
Yeah, and then right now, Crashies is having a game. It feels like in half the rounds we've had to highlight him, and pretty much none of it for utility. He's just dominating as an individual. For Vitality, it's been difficult to find the answers, but...
He heard you. He's going to hold this shock dart for the whole round now.
Get that utility damage in. I'm not saying his utility was bad. I'm just saying shooting was so good that it overshot
Sounded like what you're implying.
It was overshadowed by how good he was individually.
He insults the Odin, you become a hater. Well, it seems
he had
like
it coming. He knew, he knew what he was doing.
I'm drone. Still not seeing anything. It sounded like the slowest team to plant. And a lot of that was patience. Even still, though, if you look at the pings on the map, it still seems like there's awareness of potential danger. For now, though, it's just been checks coming out from the Fnatic side into mid every once in a while, but they are happy to just almost hold on to the cross and let that time tick down.
35, yeah. I mean, they have earned the toast from earlier that highlighted that they are an incredibly slow team.
30 seconds left.
As we get to 25 seconds, they have not put a single foot towards the site. Now, finally, they will start to come in, but this has got to be quick and clean. 20 seconds on the clock. Wall goes up. Good fight for Alpha already, and the rest are delayed behind it. 12 seconds. I mean, that spike needs to make it to the site. Vitality, the slowest, but perhaps too slow. Trying to play Fnatic at their own game. 6 seconds. The spike plant not going to be found, and kills not going to be the way this is decided in Vitality's favor. Fnatic 12-4, and
match point.
Well, it looks like Vitality let that clock run a little bit too low before going for the push, especially into the site where Vice is.
I was going to say, like, you know he's there. It's not like this is the first time that they've had Alfia on that side of the map. And
it's not a new wall either.
No,
it's the same wall that's been there.
It's the exact setup they walked into a couple of rounds ago. And for Alfia, I feel like he's almost just going to be sat there laughing. Like, okay, you're going to bait my wall out with 12 seconds left, and then Boaster just comes in and dances around the smoke.
Look at the contrast of how these two teams play these slow rounds. Fnatic had super slow rounds when it came to that attacking side. They would bait out the utility from Chronicle. They would wait, see for a reaction, see for aggression. And when they came to push, the main utility that was there to stop them and cause them issues was gone because they baited it out. Here, and keep in mind, you have like a Yoru with the decoy, for example. They can shoot it before it gets there, but you have ways of trying to bait that out. You can obviously smoke it, send players up, yada yada. It's not the easiest. It's an annoying wall. But to leave it to 20 seconds and still hit the site where you know that wall is, to go through the wall, and also to have the spike behind, like, you gotta go through together. The spike was on the other side of the wall. It delayed us another 5 seconds. This costs you the round as well. Little mistakes like that. And I think for Vitality, not baiting that utility, not getting rid of it early, and then just, you know, gambling on it working out was, it definitely warrants the pause, but it might be a little bit too late now to steer the ship back. 8 rounds in a row needed is a gargantuan task with how Fnatic are playing.
Well, we'll see if some wise words have been had. Maybe Scott had the secret formula and all has been revealed. Probably not. but you can dream.
I mean, probably not.
You think he has...
I'd say 50-50.
Okay.
Either he has it or he doesn't.
Yeah, fair. Instead, a colossal mountain to climb on your map choice. Fnatic looking primed to make the middle bracket their own, and Vitality might just be a piece in their story. One that they have never struggled with all the way through. The warm-up battle, it almost seems at this point. They are going to get into the site. The spams they have to be careful of. A lot earlier on the clock this time, surprisingly. A minute left to plant.
And an opening pick, and a second, and a third. Okay, well, that one should pretty much lock in a fifth for Vitality. Boaster and Alpha might already be thinking about the save. The credits are not looking too healthy, and yeah, you see them turn tail. Okay, nice response from Vitality, and who would have known? Playing that a little bit quicker has worked out. I will say that they were unlucky as well in some previous rounds, where even in the one where they go towards B late, they baited the rotations to B. A was practically open with one player defending both it and that rotate through mid. So they played the map right, but they just guessed wrong. And then playing into the Vice utility as well. Obviously, it was just, I think, a mistake from the get-go.
Oh. A more direct approach. Maybe that's the call. Just keep things a little bit more simple. Go in for those A-side takes. Spend less time trying to outbrain your opponent and maybe work on aiming, and that worked in this round, but it's whether or not that is a quick fix, a hot fix, or whether something that will work for a streak of rounds in a row. Of course, I don't think anybody believes that this series is over, and of course you also have to bear in mind that Fnatic have been letting big leads slip. That has been a large part of their build-up in this event. With OT losses coming through, the close victories as well at the same time. And a lot of those coming from mass advantages. So we do still look at Fnatic, but this has kind of looked like a different beast today. It's not just been clutch rounds, it's not just been one player dragging them through, although Crouchies has been very good. It has been controlled almost from start to finish.
Flash. That's aggression from Kayak. They've stepped back from it. Now they won't be blinded when he rounds that corner, and that dash blocked by the box, but luckily he still makes it out. Vitality, a minute now on the clock. And a lot of ultimates to play with. The question here, is it going to be Durka or Unfake the combo? And it will, in fact, be Unfake sent through with one pulse. And the shots, well, it looks like they've dodged them all. And now the ground well slows them with Kayak doubling up. Fnatic, they've got barely anything put into this round, but somehow they're fighting back, beating Vitality into a pulp in those first fights, and now the playing field is
taken over.
More level. In fact, now tipped firmly into Fnatic's favor. Kayak jumping around, somehow saved by Boaster, and this is it. The map is done. Fnatic have destroyed Vitality on their own pick now. They've got Bind up next.
Yeah, they've won it.